So, as everybody signs in online, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Today's a very important day in the city of Mount Vernon. We received some information that the law department is going to speak to first. You're going to hear from a few others in the administration that's going to speak to why the public should care about this very important news. And at the end of that segment, I'm going to talk through the steps that we're taking to correct the very dangerous and tenuous situation related to the finances of the city of Mount Vernon. With that, I'm going to introduce First Corporation Counsel Brian Johnson. Brian.
Good afternoon, Mount Vernonites. My name is Brian Johnson. I'm the Deputy Corporation Counsel for the City of Mount Vernon. I know there's been a lot of back and forth going on about the city's finances, and I want to take this time to simplify a couple of things and to give you some information. First, you should understand that the Comptroller is independently elected, for those of you that don't know that. What that means is that the mayor has absolutely no control over the Comptroller, and he also has no responsibility for any of her actions. She answers to no one. She doesn't, but law enforcement agencies and to you, the taxpayers and the city council. Why should you care about this? You should care about this because we were just informed that the Comptroller has independently taken the city council president and the mayor off all of the city's bank accounts. And this is important because that means she now has sole control of the city finances without any oversight from the city council or the mayor. And this is particularly important because that means she can and she has been doing anything that she wants. She pays whomever she wants without city council and mayoral approval, and whenever she wants. So this is a really critical situation right now. Contrary to her constant insistence that she operates in transparency, nothing could be further from the truth. We've asked her for information. I'll give an example. The law department has asked her for certified payrolls because we believe that some people are being paid in illegal positions, and she has steadfastly refused to provide that information to the law department and to the civil service department. And that is critical information that we need. It's legally required to be done, and she is not forthcoming with any of that information. The mayor has advised me that he is going to call a special meeting of the city council tomorrow in an attempt to get the city council to enact an ordinance which will require the comptroller to restore the signature abilities of the mayor and the city council president so they can understand what is going on with the city finances. We ask you, the press, to join us in our quest to find out what is going on downstairs in the comptroller's office with regard to the city finances, because we certainly need the help because she's not giving us any of that information.
So now I'm going to bring up Marilyn Crawford from the IDA, who's going to talk about why the public really should care about this very important situation where the mayor has been removed from the city's bank accounts unilaterally by the comptroller, which is contrary to what our charter says, which is our Constitution. Marilyn?
Thank you. As the mayor says, I'm Marilyn Crawford, president of the IDA, and I'm heartened and very sad today because usually I don't come before you, but I think this issue is so important to the people of Mount Vernon. And so today is a very sad day for the people of Mount Vernon. I work with countries and municipalities around the world before I came here, and I've never seen such acrimony and such defiance of the law of its actual own city charter, which is the Constitution. So in the interest of the people of this city, in the interest of the economic growth and development of the IDA, I stand before you here today. The comptroller acted behind the backs of the city council president, behind the back of the mayor, and behind the back of the people of Mount Vernon. They gave you the legal version. I'm going to give it to you straight with no chasers. This is the humanistic version. This will tell you how it impacts your life. I have grown to love the people of Mount Vernon, and here's where we live, we work, and we play. Here's where our kids grow up. Here's where we need a place for them to play. Here's where we need more jobs and more stable homes and more mixed housing. And so my interest is for the people. Why did she do this? So she could have sole control of the money. That's the only reason. And what does that mean? And why should you care? It means that she is now not accountable to anyone in Mount Vernon. She could literally roll a Brinks truck up to the door or Allied Moving and move to a warehouse and take the money and go to the Empire or the new MGM and have herself a $150 million ball. We have absolutely no say-so, no control, and she has no accountability. What has she done that I know about? What has she done that's fact? What has she done that's truth? She's renovated her office with that money. She has phonied up hiring and firing papers. She has told the union to go screw themselves. Who does that? All of us have respect for the union. It's been around forever, and it helps us do the daily things that keep us safe in America and in Mount Vernon. She is not allowing the real bills to be paid. She's told the school district, I don't know where, we'll see where your money is. We are being sued by the school district for $31 million, and we have no way of knowing where that money went, how much of it was paid, what's happening with the money. And on top of that, she doesn't pay the very vendors that supply services to the citizens of Mount Vernon. A perfect example, the parts for the garbage trucks, to the point where the mayor had to go and try to pay $90,000 to keep your garbage being collected so that we don't have the city run with rodents. You know, I tell the mayor, what are we gonna do about the zombie houses? He tells me back, well, we don't have the money to pay for the contract to demolish them. So that affects your property value. Why should you care? Because it's affecting you every single day of your life. When your kids walk out, I was just meeting with the Commissioner of Public Works, and I don't know the name of it, but we were talking about a tank that has actual points in it that sticks up out of the ground, that's been there for years, and he inherited all these. Literally, if your kid should run, fall, trip, an adult, and fall on it, you will be, what do you call it? Impaled. You'll be killed. So this is a life or death safety situation. She ignores the union lawyers. She ignores civil service. She buys her own uniforms for her own people. She gives her people illegal raises. She answers literally to no one. Wouldn't you like to be able to be in that position? No accountability for the people of Mount Vernon. No accountability for paying the very bills that we need to get paid. Now the question is, who's going to stop her? And every time I go to a press conference or I hear a press conference, and I actually stood in on one of her press conferences, it's the blame game. The mayor, the mayor, the mayor, the mayor, okay? So the reality of it is, it's confusing. Who do you believe? So I point to fact. I want this given out. This is the actual signature card where she illegally changed it. It is not according to your constitution and your city charter. And we have so many other instances that are documented in truth and in fact. The mayor has wreaked his mind trying to figure out what we can do. We've been to court, we've begged the city council, you know, and half the time they don't show up. And here's the problem. There shouldn't be acrimony in this city. You need a city that works. And I don't want to fight anyone. I want to fight for the people. And I want everyone to come together and call a call to action to our governor. Governor Cuomo, we need you. The state comptroller, we need you. They were here to audit, and all of a sudden they left. Come back, we need you. The people need you. The infants being born in the hospital need you. The kids going to Mount Vernon High need you. The kids that were here the other night singing need you. The senior citizens need you. And when it gets so ridiculous that it's down to toilet paper, that we at City Hall are actually buying copy paper because we don't have money to buy it, that we can't, you have postage stamps to send out bills for the city, which generates money for the city, which generates money to help you lower your taxes and to help you to do what you need for your services, for DPW, for fire department, for police department, where it gets to the point where you have to issue an emergency for police communication equipment, then that is unacceptable. Again, I tell you directly, she answers to no one, and who is going to stop her? We need help. We're asking Governor Cuomo, Please help us. We're asking the New York State Comptroller to please help us. We're asking the people, call to action. And the press, when you go downstairs to the press conference, and I observed a couple of them, and she's very nice, and as a black woman to a black woman, I respect her. I don't respect the way she's operating in the city, and I don't respect the way she's operating her position, because the people deserve better. Mount Vernon deserves better. So I asked the press to please ask for the same documents we're asking for. Ask her the same questions that we're asking. And do not accept the blame game. Do not let the mayor's name come from her mouth. Let her tell you what she's doing. I work here every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And as a lot of you know, I receive calls all during the night. My commitment is to the people, and it will stay fast and furious and straight to the people. I think that the people should know what is happening with their money. This administration is not the cause of the chaos, as sometimes it's circulated out there, and sometimes it seems because you're confused or sometimes I was confused on the city charter. But it strictly states she's an elected official. It strictly states what her responsibility is, what the mayor's responsibility is. So this administration is not the cause of the chaos, and this administration is addressing the chaos to bring order. So let's call a spade a spade. We are doing everything within our power to bring order. We need help, and as I say again, and I reiterate, a call to action from the people, a call to action from Governor Cuomo, a call to action from the state comptroller. And this isn't about politics, people. This is about every single day. We have sewers that are 75 years old. We have the Clean Water Act that can actually cause us billions of dollars in this city. We have so many things that we need help with that the mayor has put in a process and an order, but we need help to actually orchestrate it, execute it, and we need access to the money to know where it is, what's happening with it, and what she's doing with it. Thank you on behalf of the NVIDA, because our interest is your interest, the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. And not straight with no chaser, but I do have some things to chase after it, including some real testimony from people that help power Mount Vernon, some ordinary, hardworking people that are going to speak from the Department of Public Works about the day-to-day impact of not having access to any dollars to work with has on their ability to keep the city clean and also attack those potholes that are just ruining car tires right now. So Joey and team, you guys come on up.
Good afternoon. I'm going to give you first things first. The mayor, as the leader of our city, I think it's ridiculous that he doesn't have access to the city's finances. How is he supposed to monitor or question why our bills aren't getting paid or monitor where the money is going? I've been here over 35 years, and I've never seen anything like this in all the years I've been here. He doesn't have access to check and see what's going on with the finances. Second thing, I'm going to give you a couple facts. Fact is, every day I go into my office, I check with the person in charge of putting the vouchers in. Has anything been paid? No. Going back 6 months? No. Fact. Fact. She's not paying nothing. I personally went down here 3 weeks ago. Fact. And asked her, what can I do to make this process go? Get out of my office. She won't let me have 2 words. Fact. Fact is, I can't get material to service the residents. I'm a dedicated worker to this city. This is not about me. This is not about anybody in this room. This is about the people of Mount Vernon who deserve the services they pay for as taxpayers, and we can't get them because she's not paying anything. Those are facts. Those are facts. And I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of the chaos. The chaos is caused because we don't have what we need to operate, and that's a fact.
Giovanni Montemurano. I've been a park supervisor for about 3 years. I like to keep the money from the city in Mount Vernon with the vendors because the money circulates. As of 2018, every vendor in Mount Vernon has cut me off. So To get the job done, trees, plants, flowers, equipment, I had to take the money out of the city, about $35,000. Why did I take it out of the city? Because the controller won't pay the bills. I have vendors up until now calling me from the beginning of 2018. It's over a year that haven't been paid. These are small businesses that need to operate. So I had to take the money out of Mount Vernon to a different city, and now she won't even pay that vendor. So it's pretty much where I'm at a standstill. As far as flowers, mulch, whatever we got to do, right now it's getting done out of the courtesy of certain vendors that want to give us the hand, but they want to get paid. They want to get paid. And to me, I've been here since 2000. It's ridiculous. I've never seen it like this, ever, ever. But she has the audacity to drive around the circle with her husband, point fingers and say, where'd you guys get the flowers from? Only because we have vendors that want to help us, that care about this city, that are willing to give the stuff before they get paid. But they're going to want to get paid. To me, it's just ridiculous. I have equipment. I have 4 machines that are down, that are over 20 years old that I can't fix. And I can't get new equipment. So what's going to happen is the reality, people, is sooner or later, 1 or 2 machines that I have break down and the grass don't get cut and grass starts growing, weeds and everything else, trees don't get trimmed. Don't blame the mayor, don't blame DPW, blame the controller. Because she's not doing what she has to do. And I have vendors where I could call them on the drop of a dime, they'll tell you. I have one vendor, I'm not gonna mention his name in Mount Vernon, that's owed $19,000 since April of 2018. That's ridiculous. If you were a small business operating in Mount Vernon and you still gotta pay your taxes, would you pay your taxes if the city owes you $19,000? I don't think so.
Yes, Stephen Dandridge, foreman for the Sanitation Department, City of Mount Vernon. Just gonna make it short and sweet. I was just informed that the daily administrative work that I perform on a daily basis has to be put on hold because the daily supplies are not there. Stamps, postage, et cetera, paper, it's just not there to be processed. So us as foremen, our daily routine, the administrative work, it's just going to be put on hold.
What does that mean?
Well, what it means is no revenue for the city. It's basically all I have.
Good afternoon, everybody. Lawrence Lee, sanitation foreman. I'm going to piggyback off of what Steve just said. I personally had to go into my pocket and buy paper so that we can function on a daily basis in our office. I think that is ridiculous. We should not have to buy paper so we can function. We shouldn't have to purchase it. But it does get done. People always tell us about what we don't do. But what about the things that we do to keep things running for our city and our people of our city? So I just want to say that we need to get this thing in order so that we can function properly. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dwayne Jones, Sanitation Foreman, Department of Public Works. Like Steve said, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. John Montemarano was out for a week, and I found out through him, because we were still in contact, that we couldn't even get flowers to put in the 8x8 bins in Harley Park because his budget was exhausted. So it was confusing to me because this was my first time dealing with the money aspect of the department that he runs, and I got a huge appreciation for it, I should say. And it was just amazing to me. So the Gold Star Mother monument in Harley Park didn't have flowers because we don't have money for it. Amazing. So through conversations in the Service Center on Sanford Boulevard, Kit Down Motorsports, Rob DeBenedictus just was by the park and we were talking. They gave me money to help me to purchase flowers for the Gold Star Mother Monument for Memorial Day, which is around the corner. amazing to me. Also, I'd like to point out that, to touch on what they stated, if we are not able to operate, send out summonses, write summonses, because we generate funds. This department generates funds. So unfortunately, what the public doesn't know is the money that the mayor helped us acquire to pay for these rental trucks to pick up your garbage. If we don't pick up your garbage for one day, we're behind a week. 1 week. And I'm quite sure you want your trash picked up. So if he didn't acquire the funds or find the money or make a miracle, we'd be in trouble. So also what I just found out from him, he explained to me, is that the money we generate goes into a general fund. But if you checked, we generate money so that we can purchase things we need. Unfortunately for us, that's not the case. Dilapidated building, no roof, it rains, it's wet, no equipment. I have men that have to wait every week for a truck or two to come back so we can go out and just do the routes. I'm confused. No other municipality picks up what we pick up on a daily basis. Our tonnage is double check. We pick up more than anybody, I'm gonna say, in the state. I know for the county because I checked. But meanwhile, I have 3 guys having to wait, 3 crews, 9 men to have to go out to pick up another route to pick up your sanitation, your rubbish, your recycling, your yard waste. This is on a daily basis. We're struggling. I don't know. So about this whole thing, I am paying the bills. I don't think so. And I know Deborah Reynolds. I went to school with her. I know her very well. But I got to be honest with you. I have no offense. I have nothing against her. But in all honesty, what these gentlemen are speaking are facts. The bills are not getting paid. It's just that simple. I'm going to leave you all with that.
You know, one of the things that I will say is that the purchase orders and the invoices are done correctly. And you have seasoned, very well experienced union workers from the CSCA that prepare these documents and the paperwork in each department. So this is a routine function. It's nothing really new. It's just continuing the best practice of trying to get the best value for the people of Mount Vernon. But what you have is what I believe to be an abuse of abusive culture that's coming down on the entire city, coming from one person, that we've taken every step we can to bring into court. We've been successful in getting court orders. We've been unsuccessful in getting the city council to hold the comptroller accountable. That's a step that I will take in a moment, but I just want to offer it up to anyone in the law department that wants to add to it, or any other DPW worker that wants to add anything before I get ready to close out this press conference. I don't know how you guys get your job done without Westlaw, but that's one point. Okay.
I'd like just to comment on one more thing. The chaos that's caused from downstairs, and I don't know if what their outlook is, if they're willing to break us down to the point where we're not going to do our job. That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. Me and the foremans are going to keep on fighting, keep on doing what we need to do with no appreciation, no thank yous. This man, like Dwayne said, got the garbage trucks for us. Not even a thank you. Say thank you to pick up for the taxpayers' garbage. Not even a thank you. Everything's criticism, and it's caused downstairs.
So, you know, Eunice?
No, I can speak to the challenges of the law department. So one of the things that the financial challenges the law department has is we rely on a legal database, as any law department would. We've consistently had problems with having access. I think we have a trial for a month, you know. Our administrative staff, Cheryl Puma, works diligently to try to get us whatever kind of trial thing, but we really need a consistent, reliable, ongoing access to a reliable database. We can do work in-house a lot cheaper than we can sending it out, all right? And I've explained these things ad nauseum to the city council. The other issue that we're running up against, which has a deep financial cost and implication, is the slowness in payment of settlements that we enter into. If you don't pay court-ordered judgments, you are going to pay interest and penalties. And so they add up very quickly. And I don't find that court orders are being respected in a manner that they should be, and we've said that ad nauseum. So those are the things that are going on in the law department. I think also we have an issue with in rem payments and the ability to have enough in the budget allocated that can allow us to go to court and make good faith settlement offers, and we're just kicking the can further and further down the road. It is giving us a very acrimonious relationship with the judges that we have to go before regularly. It's almost putting us to the point of committing malpractice, which none of us are going to do. As much as we love the city, we're not going to do that. So we are hoping for a good financial conclusion, particularly as it relates to the law department.
So, look, I as mayor, I will continue to do anything and everything to protect the people of Mount Vernon, and bringing order to chaos is the task at hand. We've been very successful over the years getting court order after court order after court order instructing the city council and the comptroller to stop the obstruction and start serving the people of Mount Vernon. However, in this very case where the city controller unilaterally acted behind my back in defiance of multiple court orders to not obstruct or infringe upon the executive authority or undermine the very democracy that we live by, our city charter. It's really, really, really tragic that there's no action from no one. And I'm really concerned that here you hear fact after fact, person after person, and no action from the people that have the power to stop this. So I will be issuing an order directing the city council to hold a special meeting to enact an ordinance calling on the city controller to restore the mayor's signature and, as our charter requires, the alternate signature as required under our charter. And I'll also be reaching out again to JP Morgan Chase to figure out why would they do this against their own terms and conditions. I mean, I still have questions about why they called the cops. Those tapes will become available very soon. But nonetheless, we need to understand why our city council is not holding our controller accountable and threatening our tax base even further. With that, we'll take any questions.
Well, Mayor, I did what the IDA president suggested. I went downstairs and asked some questions. And law enforcement was called to remove me from the office. So this happened not long ago, so we had no access to the controller, and she just refused. Actually, behind the line, she said the controller is not here. And I said, but you are talking to me. I know who you are. You know, that happened. And also, state controller sent people to audit. Why were they removed? Do you know why they were called back?
You know, we issued missing in action signs out for those auditors. We want them to be found because we want them returned to the city of Mount Vernon. It is critical. And this is unexplained mystery by the state controller's office, why they would turn their back on such a grave situation. I mean, $31 million into the wind related to our education system, millions in unpaid bills for vendors, as well as other threats to the legal liabilities of the city. So I will continue to invoke every emergency power and direct the corporate council and every other agency under my authority to take the steps to protect the city of Mount Vernon. But it's time for some action. It's time for the courts to work with us to enforce these orders even more aggressively, as well as we need answers from Governor Cuomo. Why does this not rise to the level of your attention to give us the audience we need to hold this out-of-control controller accountable? But we are going to begin with the city council. Special meeting will be called every single day until they have one, and they must put this on their agenda to vote on it. They must order her to restore the charter required requirements. Mayor's signature to countersign checks.
If you call a special meeting, will they show up?
If the city council shows up, that would be a great signal that they actually care about the people of Mount Vernon. But if they don't show up, you have your answer. They don't.
What's the issue with Munis?
The issue with the electronic payment system, Munis, is even far worse and far grave than what you heard here. There's an Inspector General report that's available about it, but the bottom line is it's very much like taking your steering wheel off your car while you're driving. That's exactly what happened to Munis. She just took the steering wheel off and threw it out the window. So there's no way to know which way the finances are going because she broke the system.
The software system, right?
Yeah, the software system. So hearing no more questions, I'd like to thank you all. Just know that we're going to continue to fight for the people, and we're going to do everything we can to bring order to this chaos that's being caused by the comptroller and tolerated or accelerated by the city council. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Good?
Excellent.
Told you he was cold.
Who? Oh, he was fabulous.